Hey everybody, this is Mark with Pelican Wooden Things. Today I'm going to talk to you about 3-2-1 finish or 1-2-3 finish, whatever. I'm not sure, but it gets its name because it's got 3 parts turpentine, 2 parts spar varnish, and 1 part boiled linseed oil. So 1-2-3, 3-2-1, whatever you want to call it. It's a good finish to have. I like to use it on furniture. It's when you don't want something that's got a glossy shell-like coat on it, but rather this is a soak-in type of finish. Helps to bring out the chatoyance in the wood and has a nice deep look to it. So it's pretty easy to mix up. Get yourself a graduated type of container or some sort of measuring device and just measure in the proportions I said before. I'll put it in the description, by the way, so you don't have to write it down right now. Always remember to clean the spout on your oil, because otherwise you'll never get the lid back off the next time. So just put in your 1 part boiled linseed oil, 2 parts Marine Spar Varnish, and 3 parts turpentine. To apply this, almost any rag will do. I just cut up an old piece of scrap towel, worn out towel, and make sure you store this in a glass container. The turpentine may dissolve certain kinds of plastics. And always write what's in the jar. I put down what's in it and when I mixed it up, because after a while, I've had this finish last quite a while in a jar and still be usable, but the turpentine, if nothing else, will dissolve. You might have to add a little bit more of that over time. Now, to apply it, like I said, just get yourself a scrap piece of clean rag and apply it very liberally. You want to, first coat, you want to more or less have it puddled on there, because you're going to be letting it soak in for about 10 minutes. So get a very generous portion on there. I'll watch it for about 10 minutes. Actually, it takes about 30 minutes before you want to wipe it off, but for the first 10 minutes or so, I just keep adding more and more as it soaks in. Look for dry spots. You can see the shine where the finish is puddling on there, but as it soaks in, you'll catch some dry spots, and you want to make sure you keep those moistened so it soaks in really well at first. As I said, I usually spend about 10 minutes just making sure it stays wet. Here's a view from the side. You can see in the corner there it's kind of getting dry, and a couple other small spots there. Use the light reflection to enable you to see where it has already soaked in and where you need to add a little bit more. Now, after it's been drying for about a half an hour, it gets a little tacky, and you just wipe it off with a clean rag. I am using just a shop towel. Works fine. At first, it's not that impressive, but this is just the first coat. On the following day, add another coat. Same procedure. Maybe apply a little bit less. You don't need to puddle it up quite so much because it's not going to soak in quite so much. On the third day, you want to apply a nice coat like you did on the second day, and you can do a little wet sanding. So get yourself some wet dry 400 grit sandpaper and just give it a light sand after you've applied the finish. The little bits of sawdust that it raises will go in and fill any small pores or gaps of the wood and give it a very smooth coat. If you've got a real nice dense wood, you can get it almost glass-like finish if you put in enough coats of this. And again, let it sit for half an hour and then wipe it off. Now this type of finish, as it's soaked in, it may tend to bleed over the first few days after you've done it. So just keep an eye on it, and if you see any little shiny spots, just wipe them off. That's where it's bleeding back out of the wood. Always make sure you wear gloves with this, otherwise your hands will stink for hours afterwards of the finish. Now, if you're wondering what this thing is I'm making, that's for another video. But this one is just about the finish. Now, here in the light, you can see it's got a little chatoyance of the wood. You can see the depth in the wood. Makes a very nice finish. Give it a try sometime. I think you'll like it. Anyway, thanks for watching today.